everyone, I'm Vicky. Welcome to my channel. If you are new, please hit that subscribe button. If you are already part of my little sub family, thank you so much. So this is part of my 12 days of Christmas videos, and on the 10th day of Christmas I give to you a wedding chat video. I'm just gonna update you guys on what I've been up to planning the wedding, what we've got done so far, and yeah, hopefully you enjoy this. So I'm going to try and get through it as quickly as possible because I do think some sitting down chatty videos can take a while and I don't want to ramble too much. So myself and Dan were engaged for a year and a half before we actually started any wedding planning. I just wasn't ready. I just did not want to deal with any of the stress of it, and we were also worrying about our financial situation and how we were going to pay for a wedding. Some of the ideas that we bashed about with was going abroad for our wedding, but having a very small, intimate wedding with just our parents. That didn't go down very well. That kind of didn't go down very well at all. It almost caused a bit of a family argument. And then our other option was to invite all of our family, my side, Dan's side, and have a registry office wedding with whatever venue we could hire out to have a big party with afterwards. So two very different options with the budget that we had available. My mum passed away and then I inherited some money, which has kind of prompted more of the wedding planning. So myself and Dan would kind of throw ideas across to one another about potential wedding venues, but nothing really stuck. If you have a look online, a lot of places that do offer wedding packages don't have the price of their packages on their website. You have got to email or contact or see someone face to face in order to get that information out. And that kind of put me and Dan off because one of the things that we're very conscious about is being able to afford the wedding and everything else that comes with that. So it was actually one of our mutual friends who mentioned our wedding venue, and Dan was talking about this place that he needed to show me, but at the same time I'd also seen our wedding venue on my phone on Facebook or something as I was scrolling through. I kind of discarded it as somewhere that would be way out of our budget. So it was kind of a bit of a coincidence when Dan actually mentioned the name of the venue, and it was somewhere that I had previously been looking at. So it kind of felt a little bit like fate. And on their website they do have the packages listed. You can physically see how much your wedding package will cost and what's included in that wedding package, and that was something that was really important for us. So we contacted them, we met up with the wedding coordinator, had a really lovely little meeting and walk around the venue. Obviously we had a rough idea of what it was going to cost. When we were asked what date we would like to have our wedding on, they had a completely free diary for that month, so we got the date that we originally wanted. We didn't have to compromise on that. Nothing was set in stone at that meeting. With the place that we've gone with, I presume they do this at other venues as well. They gave us 2 or 3 weeks, you know, just so you can discuss it with one another and totally make sure that it's where you want to get married at before you fully commit. They just pencil you in. You're not bound to anything straight away. I was really happy with going with the venue that we've chosen, and that was our first stepping stone. That was just the starting point of us finally planning our wedding. So after we had that meeting, we then filled out the online forms to book the registrar to see if they would come on our chosen day and also our chosen time. We did have to pick some other options of the time that we wanted the ceremony, just in case they couldn't arrive at that time, but we were lucky enough to get information back saying that they would come to our venue on the date and at the time that we had requested. So it just kind of felt as if everything had fallen into place. So once we got that information from the registrar, we then went back to the venue and confirmed that that is where we wanted to get married at. Myself and Dan had already been discussing what theme we wanted to go with, and our theme all came about from me not wanting a traditional guest book. I don't want something where people write in it and I put it into a drawer. I wanted something that could be framed and put onto the wall. So I had in mind having a wooden jigsaw, so our guest will be signing on the jigsaw pieces and then it can be put together, framed and then put on the wall. Because of the wood from the jigsaw, we've kind of gone with a rustic theme, so that's where our theme has come about. One of the difficult things for me is that I can't articulate myself very well, so when I've got an idea and it's in here, I can't get it out and explain it very well to others. So that did cause a bit of frustration with family members when I was trying to get my point across, especially in the early days when they were all excited and giddy as well. There was just a huge rush of ideas and opinions coming at me, and I felt a little bit swayed at one point. But thankfully myself and Dan, we refocused, we regrouped, and we really homed in on what it was that we wanted as our table centerpieces and all of that thing. And we were able to fully get the vision that we wanted. So one of the first things that we did buy is a wedding planner. I have got to say that these are a lifesaver. I'd 100% recommend having a wedding planner journal or a wedding planning book. This one is super good. It's got a checklist, it's got a timeline, it's got somewhere for me to put all of my suppliers' information. It's just full of reminders. So as it gets close to the wedding, I can tick things off that I have needed to complete. They're just absolutely wonderful because anything to do with the wedding is all in one place. And this has helped me so much feel a lot calmer and kind of know what we need to get done. So in the first 6 months of our wedding planning, we got all of our suppliers. The only supplier I need is somebody to do my nails, but I have a lady in mind, but I'm waiting till it gets a little bit closer to the wedding for me to book an appointment with her. But we have got our venue, which comes with a package of the DJ and caterers, so we don't need to worry about those. I've got a room decorator because we're literally just hiring the rooms, so I need somebody to come in, put chair covers on, do my centerpieces. I could make them all myself, I could do the chair covers myself, but I didn't want to put that pressure on me or any of my guests. So I've got a lady that's going to do that, and she was one of the recommended suppliers, and she's absolutely wonderful, and her price was amazing too. The work that she does is just really incredible, and I just know that I'm in safe hands and she's going to make our rooms look wonderful on the day. Same with our dance floor company and backdrop, they're also a recommended supplier, and again I just know that they work so well with the hotel, they're going to come in and everything's going to run smoothly and I don't need to worry about that side of things. And then the other lady that is a recommended supplier is our cake lady. Myself and Dan were not originally going to have a traditional wedding cake, we were just going to buy a shop bought one just to bring the cost down. But my sister and brother-in-law has gifted us our wedding cake, so we've got an absolutely incredible wedding cake that is going to taste amazing as well. Like, obviously it needs to look good, but it is going to taste amazing. We have sourced our photographer ourselves. Is somebody who has worked alongside Dan for the Eve Merton charity game, and the work that he does is absolutely incredible. It's just stunning photos that he takes, and we went, had a chat at his home, and he was just such a lovely guy. He really made me feel nice and calm, and on the day when I'm stood taking photos and I'm going to be with him for quite a lot of time throughout the day, I want to feel at ease in his company, and I really did feel like that. So the quality of the work that he produces is top notch, and the fact that I'm comfortable in his presence is really, really important to me as well. So I'm so happy with the photographer that we went with, and then the other supplier that I've got sorted out is my hair and makeup. So my hair and makeup artist is going to do mine and my bridesmaid's hair and makeup on the day. When I was looking at someone to do hair and makeup, I wanted someone who was talented enough to do both. I didn't want to have to hire two people. So she is another local person to us, and I've seen her work and read customer reviews, and she just seems absolutely wonderful. And I love the work that she does is like enhancing natural beauty. That is what I really love about Beverly's work, is that she seems to home in on a person's natural qualities and brings them out more. So yeah, I'm really happy with who we've gone with so far. I do feel as if I've got a really good team of people behind me to make my wedding day go superb. We've also asked our wedding party to be part of our wedding party, so I asked my bridesmaids and Dan has asked his best man and he asked the ring bearer as well. So we've got all those people in place, which is brilliant. They all said yes. If you look on Etsy or on the high street, you can find loads of lovely gifts to give to your bridal party when you're asking them to be part of it. So I got a few bits off Etsy, and then I also got a few bits myself and put them into a box. I think everyone was happy with what they received. So far we've got a full wedding party all on board. I'm not sure why, but myself and Dan kind of felt like we would forget to buy the rings. So while we was out shopping one day, we were having to look into a jewellery shop, and we just both saw some rings that we liked and they were within our budget, so we've already got our wedding bands. It's not something you think about when you first get engaged, but then when you are looking at wedding bands, like I wanted mine to complement my engagement ring, and Dan just wanted one that he liked. So we're both very happy with what we've gone with and what we've chosen, and yeah, I don't know, that kind of left me feeling really happy, and I had like excited butterflies in my stomach that day when we came home with our rings. And Dan says like he keeps trying his on every now and again, and I've tried mine on, and yeah, it's just really nice. I've also got my wedding dress already. I wasn't planning on getting my dress this early. I was planning on waiting close to the wedding, but there was a bridal shop that was closing down, and she was just selling the most gorgeous dresses at amazing prices. So I went along, and that experience was just wonderful. I had an amazing entourage, and they just helped me find the most perfect dress. I feel like it was kind of meant to be. It fit me so well, and I felt like myself in the dress. It was kind of a toss-up between the dress that I went with and another dress, but the other dress that I could see everybody else being like holding their breath about, it just, I don't know, like you really do have a feeling when you put a dress on, and the other dress just didn't make me feel like myself. I kind of felt as if I was playing dress up in this other dress, and it was stunning. It looked really amazing. My dress just made me feel like me, like obviously the best version of myself that I could possibly be, but I still felt like myself. So that's why I went with the dress that I've gone with. There is a few tweaks that need doing to it. I will need to see a seamstress to sort it out, but we'll cross that bridge again when it gets close to the wedding day. So into the new year, I will be working on myself, trying to work out more, and once I've lost half a stone, I will be trying on my wedding dress with the shoes that I bought. I really want to see if the shoes are going to flop off my feet. I really do like them, but I am very worried that they're going to flop off, especially if I do end up wearing stockings on the day. Like, these are just the things that go through your mind, like the most craziest stuff will just come into my mind. So I'm probably going to ask my mother-in-law to be if I can just stomp up and down her wooden floor in my shoes, just to see if they are going to flop off or not. If they do start to flop off, then I will have to look at some other shoes, maybe ones with a tie around the ankle, but hopefully, like everything else so far, maybe they will just be absolutely perfect and I'm just worrying over nothing. So one of the big things that we got done just before Christmas was sending out all of our save the dates. So because Dan's mum is really crafty, and she's just really good at making cards, and she also has all of the supplies available. She was the one who helped us make our own save the date cards. So I had a look obviously at images of other save the dates, I requested a few samples, and then we kind of tweaked with some designs and came up with our own. So it was kind of like a production line of myself, Michelle and Dan, and we sat and we made our own save the date cards. Some of them you could tell they were handmade, others looked really good, but I think we got a huge amount of satisfaction from making them ourselves. So that was the last thing that we did towards the wedding. I have not thought or done anything towards the wedding for the last few months, it's just been the build up to Christmas. So now we are heading into the new year. It's going to be full steam ahead with all of the wedding stuff again. I feel as if I've got this year to get all of the smaller details put into place, and it's the small finer details that take the most amount of time, I think. Like sorting out the suppliers was nice and easy because that's now on other people, that's not on me and Dan, whereas now the next year is going to be us focusing on all those little details. I forgot to mention the accommodation. Our venue does provide accommodation, so we've sorted out our own, we've sorted out some of the wedding parties accommodation for the night before and the night. So once we send out the official invitations, the rest of the family members will know all the information. A very busy year ahead. Hopefully it's a fun one too. If you've watched this video till the end, thank you very much. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Hopefully see you again soon. But for now, goodbye.